Hello everyone, Martin here, back with another Doomsday video. So it is the age of companions, at least for the time being. Um, but I have chosen not to be led down that path, at least not with Doomsday. Been having a lot of discussions with some fine folks about whether or not to actually go for a companion for Lurrus, more precisely. And I have chosen not to do that. Um, the main reason is actually in the sideboard, to be honest. I am finding myself leaning a lot on Mentor, and I would hate to lose Mentor. Now, I realize you could probably. I think the mechanic works in such a way that Loris. I mean, I have it here somewhere. Loris states that if your main deck has no permanents of converted mana cost 2 or higher, then he can be your companion, or it can be your companion. But so I suppose in sideboarded matches, you could choose to not have him as your companion. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you declare it during game one, if that then means you're locked in to have it as your companion. Anyway, there are also other costs. It means not playing Street Wraith. Now, you could just replace Street Wraith with a second Edge of Autumn, and in most cases you would be fine. But there are definitely situations where you want Street Wraith over Edge of Autumn, or rather, in sort of in a combo with Edge of Autumn. Having only Edge of Autumn means that you can end up in situations where you're having to pass the turn, where if you had Street Wraith, you could win on the same turn. Namely, matches or a game situation where you only have one land, and you Doomsday, and you need to cycle twice. I won't be able to get like more specific about it, but that is sort of because it just there are tons of different sort of scenarios where that may or may not occur, but it can occur. Also, like Street Wraith is, in a non-trivial way, I think Street Wraith is slightly better than Edge outside of the combo. Like, you can Street Wraith to just, like, try and hit a force, or just if you have a clunky hand, you can cycle Street Wraith and try to get a card deeper, where you're not really sacrificing a land to do the same most of the time. Flipping that around, you can cast Edge of Autumn and get a Mentor trigger, which has happened like once for me. So anyways, and you also lose Teferi, which is also, the deck can probably do fine without, and replace Teferi with some other interaction. But I've just not really, I don't see it as a major boon. We're not like gaining tons by replaying our 3 mana rocks, like Storm might get a whole lot out of replaying LED, for instance. So at that point, we're like filling our deck with some value cards together with Loris, like some Mishra's Baubles. Mishra's Bauble goes very well with Predict. That is one interaction that I would secretly love to be able to do. But I mean, I would like to have Loris alongside Mentor versus Delver, and have some Baubles in my deck. That would be amazing, but you can't, because Loris and Mentor don't go together. Unless what I said at the beginning is correct, and you can actually have sideboard cards. At that point, I might want to have Loris, and then just side him in after, against Delver, but yeah, I don't know. Any other changes here? Yeah, so I have decided that there is next to no Black-Red Reanimator. Insert parentheses, I'll probably face Black-Red Reanimator in this league. So I've decided to cut Surgical for Rest in Peace, which is too slow to really do anything against Black-Red Reanimator most of the time, but is like very good against Delver decks. It blanks Arcanist, and it blanks Loris. And yeah, I just want to try that out. And you can actually see these entire 15 cards are coming in against Delver variants. I don't think I've ever actually tried that, to have my whole sideboard come in against one matchup, and it might say something about, you know, maybe just give up that matchup. In fact, I'm sure some of you will feel that way, and that I'm not saying that I'm sort of completely sure that that's not correct, but I do feel like the deck is just really well sort of positioned against most other decks, like in the mainstream. Sure, we get our asses kicked by a Bomberman or by like Echo of Eons with 4 Narset, but other outside of some niche decks, I really feel like this deck is just super well positioned to beat like a lot of stuff. So I really but Delver is just not one of those. Delver is a really tough deck to beat. So yeah, uh, what else? I'm trying the one of Cavern of Souls again. I decided that I needed to have Night's Whisper because with Night's Whisper, we can get to a point where we can play around Red Elemental Blast, Pyroblast, which is a kind of a big deal. Also, I think if your opponent is sitting on like a counter spell, like let's say you were up against one of the clever opponents. By the way, I'm just gonna queue here. You're up against one of those like clever opponents that feel like they know they shouldn't force of will your Doomsday. They're just gonna let you combo off, and then they're gonna force of will the Thassa. Well, if they see Night's Whisper, I doubt. I mean, they probably also have Pyroblast. You know, if they're a blue deck, they're likely to have Pyroblast after sideboard, and I just feel like Pyroblast. Oh, sorry, Night's Whisper is not like if you've held off like casting a Force of Will on Doomsday, you're not going to waste it on Night's Whisper unless you really see the Cavern of Souls play. So yeah, really excited to try that. Playing it in lieu of 1 predict, so normally I would have 2 predicts. Alright, so let's see what we're up against here. Wow, this is a bit of a sketchy hand because of the 3 Dark Rituals, but I feel like I am going to keep because we can play Magic and we're like a Doomsday away from doing something nice. Ooh, Plains Go. Okay, land was good. I think I'm... So, Plains Go, normally I would think Death and Taxes. They didn't reveal a companion, so it's not Zerda. So with Death and Taxes, you have to expect like your lands to come under threat. I'm just thinking if I should be fetching non-basics, seeing as I can't fetch a swamp with Flooded Strand, but I don't think so. I'm going to fetch Basic Island and cast a Preordain. I don't know, I kind of worry that we're just going to be facing a Thalia next turn. So I think I need the land, and I guess the predict is pretty neat with these, so yeah, let's go like this and pass. So if it is Thalia this turn, I guess... Oh, might still be pass. Now I'm curious, like what sort of Maverick-y type deck doesn't have a play on turn 1 or turn 2? So I'm thinking it's probably not one of those decks. I think I'm going to brainstorm here and sack a few, or like put back a couple of Dark Rituals, and then fetch probably Basic Island, and then maybe set up Predict with Preordain. I would have to then predict on my own upkeep. Well, I like these cards, although they sort of overlap a bit. I'm not so sure if I actually need all these lands, but I think probably all we want is like 1 Dark Ritual. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to play around Wasteland. Having the Dark Ritual means we just need to drop our Underground Sea when we want to go off. Okay. So I guess I want the Brainstorm, and I will predict the Prismatic Vista most likely on my next turn, unless something else interesting happens. There was a world where we want to keep up Worm's Chant and if we thought we were up against some kind of spell-driven deck here, but I don't think we are. Like a spell-driven combo deck, I mean. Okay, Tundra. What is this? Oko, maybe? Yeah, Oko. Oko is no Joko, but he is fine. Make that food. Okay, so we really just want to find Doomsday now, and then we will probably be able to piece together a win. So let's say Prismatic Vista. So world where we end up having to discard here, which would be a bit unfortunate. Let's see. Another Dark Ritual, wow. So I think I'm gonna, how many cards? We have 9. I can play out a land and and I guess if we play the Lotus Petal, they might elk it, but I would actually be fine with that. We're not short of mana here. We are running a little bit low on time to actually find Doomsday now, because they will have a clock. But I guess it depends. Like, if they just dirtle around and play like an Uru and sack it next turn, then I guess I'm not too worried. So, if they make this into an artifact, into an elk, and they do, there is a world where next turn we Teferi and bounce it. If they don't do anything with their mana here, then likely, in all likelihood, they will have, I mean, not in all likelihood, but there's a chance they have like a Ice Fang Quaddle. A Knight. Okay. So with Knight is just a 2/2, I guess. Just trying to work out if this Teferi is going to actually do something here. Wow, another chant. I think I'm going to have to brainstorm here. Find Doomsday, and I think we win. We do not find Doomsday, and we are brainstorm locked. That's a shame. So they're playing Knight, which makes me think they are playing Wasteland. So now playing out my Underground Sea actually costs something, because then they can elk the Petal and waste the Underground Sea. Not really sure what else I'm doing here. I kind of don't want to give away what I'm playing. That brainstorm really hurt. We can cycle Street Wraith. We can't even, like, we really need, like, Astrolabe. We need a lot of things here. Astrolabe could make us, like, kick chant to sort of preserve our clock here. Like, our life total, I mean. Man. So I think I'm gonna. I think I really need this land here, so I'm actually gonna go to clean up. I'm gonna ditch Edge of Autumn. That gives it away, but I was almost gonna pitch or like ditch the Force of Will, but that just feels too bad. Okay. Gaia's Cradle. Interesting. Okay. Are they like a natural order deck? Knight of Autumn. Yeah, I'm not gonna force that. I'm guessing they aren't gonna blow up my pedal, but I mean, okay, they are. Sure. Means we can't kick chant for one turn. I'm not too worried about that. Okay, maybe I should be worried. So what is our game plan here? We're just going to be taking a lot of damage soon. This turn we take 4. We drop to 15. The next turn there's Wasteland. Next turn we take 3. Wait, you can sack to put counters on this. Alright. So I guess this is like Maverick just splashing blue for Oko. So I feel like what we have to do here is play Teferi as a one-turn sort of. It buys us a turn in that I think they will kill it. Yeah, because what we will do is we will bounce probably the tracker. The next turn they will attack for 2, 5, 9. Oh, but then they can make another token, so that's not even really good enough. We also need life points to cycle the Street Wraith, I think. I think we're just out, to be honest. Is there a better thing to bounce? Okay. So I'm gonna cycle here. If I could get to another white mana, but I can't because now I'm gonna use the white mana. Is there a world where we just go crazy with Dark Rituals here? And that way we get to keep open blue mana. So we can cast a fairy but keep a blue mana open, and then what? Then we hope that the one draw we get is a brainstorm, even though there are 2 in our yard. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm just out otherwise, right? Let's just go through it again. We play Teferi now, we bounce Tireless Tracker, then they attack, they make this food into a 3/3, they attack for 2, 5, 8, and 11. So let's do it. I guess there is no point in doing any more rituals. We could even have not played the second ritual. So let's bounce the Tireless Tracker, just whatever. I somehow knew that was going to happen. Alright, let's I guess we could make them see the line, but I don't see them missing it. So I mean, of course they could attack Teferi here with 1 creature, but then they would probably still have lethal, right? 3, 6, 8. No, they would leave us at 1, but yep. Alright, so I'm gonna bank on them not having blue like interaction, like counter spells. So I think I want a lot of these. I think I want the Terminus and probably a couple of Mentors. And most likely they will have some Hate Bears. So let's try 3 Plows. Let's ditch at least 1 Thoughtseize, 1 Teferi, 1 Chant. I like having like chant against, like 1 chant just to put in my pile if I like strongly suspect them having something like surgical or Mind Prick Trap. I don't want to shave Doomsday combo pieces, even though we're bringing in more win conditions, because Dark Ritual Doomsday on turn 1 is a very legit play against a deck like that. I guess maybe 3 Plows is one too many. Plow is not very good against Oko. And we can't, like, we're on the play, we can't actually beat Thalia and stuff with our combo. Maybe I just don't want Thoughtseize at all. So what would we really want to ferry against here? We would want to ferry against a Chalice, but they're playing Noble Hierarch, so I don't think they're not like Aggro. We would want to ferry against something like Deafening Silence, which they could be running. So maybe that is just better than Worm's Chant. Or maybe, I don't want to cut lands necessarily, but at the same time, Cavern of Souls actually just seems like a dud against them. Unless I've made a huge punt here and they're actually on like Force of Will and stuff, but I don't think they are. Alright. Ooh, this is a fine hand. So let's keep this and probably we preordain on turn 1, and then we Astrolabe and potentially Ponder on turn 2, and then we have hopefully Mentor on turn 3. Like this. Seeing as we have the Mentor, I'm going to go ahead and bottom the Doomsday, draw the land so we can actually play the Mentor on turn 3. Sure. Nope. So I'm going to ponder here, and I don't think we want any of these, right? There's an argument to be made for, pardon me, for Lines That Diamond, as that actually is a monk on the turn he comes down. But I think we need a blue card, honestly. I have a suspicion that something is up with Ponder right now. I saw Julian Knob play, and he pondered and shuffled and then got 2 of the exact same cards on his subsequent Ponder. I think it was something like that. And one of them was a singleton in the deck, and the other one, there were like a couple of copies left. I don't know, man. Seems suspicious. Or makes me feel suspicious. I've had something similar happen, but I don't know if I'm just sort of seeing like scenario wish fulfillment. Force? No. Well, I should have kept that Doomsday, huh? Now our hand is kind of embarrassing, but hopefully this Mentor will get us where we want to go. I kind of wanted the Force. If they go Oko here, it's super bad for us with the Mentor. Thalia. Thalia is fine, except we can't protect Mentor next turn, and we don't get a monk. Wow, I really don't feel like I'm drawing very well. I'm not sure if they would have kept in removal. So let's try this. We will likely have our Underground Sea wasted next turn. I can live with that. I would really like to not have to have my Mentor plowed here. Yep, there's a expected wasteland. Collector Roof, sure. That's kind of awkward now we don't have white mana, but at least we have the Mentor down. I'm sorry for the coughing here. I think I need to get something to, some water or something. And we draw a plow right on cue when we can't make white mana. So I think we're just gonna go like this. And I think we're going to attack. Right now we're not winning this race, but there isn't a long, I mean, yeah, there's not a long way to go to actually be able to win. Oh man. Just like if we can chain some spells together, if we can like get white mana to plow Thalia. And then I guess what we really need are some blue spells, some cantrips here. If we get a brainstorm, there's a world where we have to like reset with Terminus. But right now I guess we are losing. Come on, spell or land, spell or land, spell or land. Yeah, okay, I'll take it. Not the land we were looking for. Do we go for it here, and then next turn we can... We can't really do a lot, right? So let's say next turn, let's say we draw Volcanic and play it here. Then we can cast Ponder and hope that one of the two cards below Thassa is a white producing land. At that point, things are looking a bit better. Or is there a world where we leave back these two monks and trade them with the oomph? That way we can plow Thalia through Astrolabe. I think I actually like that. So the only question is if we play out the Valkyr into a potential wasteland to be able to make a land drop next turn. Let's start by attacking. I think we risk the Volk because when they see me holding back this one monk, first of all, they might think I have force here, but they might see the writing on the wall and not attack with oomph and just attack with Thalia. Or just one of them, I guess, but okay. Sure. I will take it. Still one less damage than I would have otherwise taken, but we've dealt them two less than they would have otherwise taken. Okay, so now we need to hit that white producing land. Is there a world? I think actually, hang on. I think there's a world where we writ here just to get the monk, and writ still generates a positive 1 mana under Thalia. So I think that's actually, and what are these rituals doing anyways, right? Suppose we could Doomsday here. And then what? So we cast another ritual. Oh, never mind, we can't because of Thalia. Yeah, then I don't like doing this. Then I think we shuffle. So I just want to check here. That was Doomsday, Edge of Autumn, and Thassa. 2 of which are 1-ofs. So let's just see what we draw here. Ah, okay. A white card that we can't cast. Do you just burn the last ritual? That actually makes it a quite a meaty attack. I think I like doing that. So they have to sack something. I guess Dried Arbor. They take 8. Okay. It's unfortunate that we can't cast any spell right now out of our hand, even with untapped mana and Thalia gone. So we need to draw a way to cast a spell next turn, either a blue cantrip or a white source to cast this. Okay, sweet, they concede. Let's go rabbit hunting. We would have drawn Doomsday. Go figure. Okay. Feel like I kind of want more plowshares if this is the plan we're on. Having said that, I would love to just go like turn 1 Doomsday now, because now they sort of have the mentors on, you know, the mentor plan is there for them to see. I think I'm gonna bottom to, or not bottom, but take out Teferi, because on the draw getting to Teferi mana. The thing about Teferi is he ideally hits an empty board, or like one card board, one creature board, because if he doesn't, he needs to survive, right? So yeah, anyways, I'm keeping this. Deafening Silence. Okay. Deafening Silence is annoying now that we just took out Mentor, but it's not the end of the world. So this can get Island, this gets Swamp, this gets Basic Plains, I guess. There's a world where this gets an Underground Sea, and this gets, yeah, this gets Swamp. I guess now I just want to race towards Doomsday, I think. There is Doomsday. I think we can bottom the Strand. Green Censure 1, sure. So hang on, if we were to Doomsday with the mana floating... No, there's no world where we can Doomsday and not just... We have to pass the turn because of Deafening Silence. So let's say we untap with 3 mana, we cast Brainstorm. Or rather, we draw Street Wraith, then we edge into the 4th card, 3 cards left. We then cast Street Wraith, cast Brainstorm. And then we can Street Wraith into Thassa. It's not impossible. We will be open to Wasteland. So let us now let's top the Swamp, bottom the Preordain, and let's just play out the Swamp and say go. Oko, sure. Now, there's a clock that's a bit real here. We'll have to draw Astrolabe. Okay, I'm going to Brainstorm. Let's dump the Doomsday. Astrolog is probably a turn too late. But let's put scrubland. No. So we need scrubland, and then we need this Flutterstrand to fetch out Underground Sea. But I kind of want to be able to plow on their turn now to buy myself, like, the life total might be real, right? Let's say we let them untap, we don't plow, they make the food into an elk. They attack for 5, we drop to 14. Then we get the turn, we fetch down to 13. And then we Doomsday and we are at 6. That means if they have another creature, it would need to be more than 3 power for that to matter next turn, I guess. I think we are supposed to play around the wasteland with that having been said. Or I guess we postpone the whole thing 1 turn and then fetch with Prismatic Vista basic planes. That would mean us putting back Doomsday and, I guess, Astrolabe? Although then Astrolabe, or Doomsday and Brainstorm maybe. Yeah, actually I like that. So next turn, our play will be make a land drop and Astrolabe. And I guess if they elk that, then that's fine. There was a wasteland. I'm not sure we're beating this, but yeah, we'll see. Okay. Green zones for 2, sure. Oof, I guess. Yeah. I mean, oh, and they create a food token. So, alright, let's see here. Now we drop to, we take 2, we drop to 17, we drop to 16 when we fetch, 15 when we fetch again. We Doomsday, we're at 7. Then next turn they can attack with 5 power. So that should be fine. So now the Astrolabe becomes, you know, slightly worse. Or I guess it doesn't, because I think, so yeah, what I'll do is I'll plow the Collector. Oh, we can actually do something really fun with our Doomsday pile, I forgot. Yeah, Force of Will is not the worst, though I expect to be needing my Brainstorm. Plow is a great draw here. I think I'm just going to plow this. So, I mean, obviously they could be sitting on something like Surgical or Mindbreak Trap. Thalia. Oh, that's been annoying. So let's see here. That means that I can't do what I want it to do on my turn, or on their turn. What I wanted to do was make a pile with Terminus on top, and then on their turn I would Edge of Autumn into it and cast it. But that doesn't work, unfortunately. I guess we could Force of Will this. So let's see what we Force of Will it, and then on next turn we edge into, we don't have to edge into Terminus after Doomsday. What if we do? Then we will draw the top of a 4-card library. And what will that be? Let's say that is nope. Okay, so let's say that it is Street Wraith. And so we Street Wraith into Thassa. And then there are 2 cards left in the deck. And if they have Plow as their last card, then we lose. And they've been sitting on a card, I think, for a while, right? Can we do it the other way around that I was talking about? So we Doomsday, we pass, we get the turn, and we possibly have only 3 lands. No, we can't. I think I'm gonna... No, we can anyways. What am I debating here? I plowed. So Thalia's just in. So actually, I think I'm fetching Basic Island with this. I don't need to fetch out Underground Sea now because of Astrolabe. That's not the worst. Alright, so let's see here. Let's go like this. Okay. Oh, come on. Alright. I need to think a bit fast here. So I think I'm going to keep up Force on their turn. Although that might be silly. Let's say that we don't play around anything and don't do anything with the thing, the Terminus. So we draw Street Wraith. We Street Wraith into Thassa. We then cast Brainstorm from our hand, drawing Preordain, Underground Sea, and whatever, Petal, I guess. And then we put back we will have 4 lands, right? We have 4 lands. We'll use 2 mana to cast Brainstorm. We can't do the Preordain thing. So this way we don't play around the Source of Plowshares. So I guess we might as well have Terminus in the pile. Okay, so draw Terminus, cast it, then edge into Street Wraith, cast Brainstorm, drawing Thassa, Petal, C, put back, Force of Will. Yeah, let's do it like this. I don't like it, but I'm running very low on the clock anyways. So C on the bottom, Petal, Thassa, Street Wraith, Terminus. This is sort of banking on them not having a way to deal like a 7 damage to us this turn. They can only deal 5, I think. We can't force and fetch, by the way. I guess they could have... Oh, wait. So if they do this... Yeah, we have to force this. That puts a spanner in our works. Now I think we just lose. So we take 5, drop to 1. We can't fetch anymore. We can't Street Wraith. I guess actually Terminus is good here because they can't make another... they can't attack with another dude. Sure, they get to bounce Thalia. Yep, let's just pass. We have to hope they don't have removal. That's it. And they don't. Sweet. So I think we win, right? Wow, that was convoluted. I'm sure I made a bunch of punts. Because we draw Street Wraith now, and then we edge into Thassa if I didn't misplace my cards. Yeah, that's fine. Wow. Phew. Got there by the skin of our teeth. That felt like a very ugly last game of that round. Of that match. Wow, this deck sometimes. But I mean, I go in against any Thalia deck feeling pretty confident, but we were really on the ropes here. So I guess that was Maverick. So yeah, this is my record. I've been recording whenever I faced a companion deck, and as you can see, I have quite a few losses. Anyways. Really curious to see what happens to the format, whether or not these companions stick around. I'm kind of guessing they won't, but yeah. I won the dice roll. That's sweet. Looks like a companion deck by the time they're doing nothing. That wouldn't be a companion thing. Okay, Gyruda. Wait, I thought this was bugged out. I guess it's not. Alright, I have both Silence and Thoughtseize, and I'm on turn 1 here, so I'm going to keep. I think this is like a glass cannon deck. What does this do? Enters the battlefield, we both put the top 4 cards into our graveyard, and if either of us flip a creature, they can play it. Sure. So yeah, this is the card from the famous screenshot with someone having mulligan to 2 lines at diamonds and being like, you know, turn 1 kill on a mulligan to 2. So I think what you're supposed to do is flip like clones, like clone creatures that sort of clone this and then keep sort of milling. So they mulligan to 6. So I think what we do here is we Thoughtseize, and then if need be we play. Oh, not. I guess we just play out the pedal and have access to Orm's Chant. I'm not sure Orm's Chant actually does all that much. We could also have played Plains into Astrolabe to have access to turn 2 Doomsday, but I don't think that's where we want to be at with against this deck. So once upon a time, something happened, and a City of Traders was revealed. Okay, so what's this? What's this nonsense? What's this do? You may have Spark Double enter the battlefield as a copy of a creature. So I guess this is one of the things they want to flip. So this does nothing in their hand. LED is, you know, so they can go turn 1 Tundra, turn 2 City, LED cast Garuda. But they can also go turn 2 Chalice for 1, which I don't like. So let's do this. And so if they play, let's just see here. What did I clicked one card too many. What was a city? Yeah, they have 2 cities. So if we want to make this chant work for us, we have to have them, like if they play a Lion's Eye Diamond, that's fine. But if they then play another Lion's Eye Diamond, then we have to chant. And that just buys us a turn, really. And now also, if we untap, if we let them untap and get to their main phase, then we also lose to this LED City Tundra casting Garuda. So let's start with Astrolabe here. Yeah, okay, so here's what we do. We Dark Ritual Doomsday, and then we chant on their upkeep, and then we win, assuming they don't play like Force of Will or whatever. Okay, let's see if we can make a Cavern of Souls pile. That should be possible, right? Let's say we draw Street Wraith. We Street Wraith into Night's Whisper. We Night's Whisper drawing Edge of Autumn. No. That doesn't work. So we Street Wraith, draw Street Wraith, cycle Street Wraith drawing Predict. Predict drawing Predict binning whatever, then drawing. No, doesn't work either. Maybe I'm just too either tired or not clever enough to work it out. Just trying to work if we can beat that potential Force of Will. Oh no, never mind. What am I talking about? This states here you have to have even converted mana cost spells. So anyways, I think let's just not play around anything. We draw Predict. We predict away a Brainstorm. We draw LED and Edge of Autumn, and Thassa's our last card. Yep. So Thassa, LED, Edge, Brainstorm, Predict. Just have to remember to chant them. This doesn't have flash, right? No. So you have traders. We can beat. I guess they can't cast anything. I was going to say we can beat a Chalice for 1. Okay. Let's hope they don't have like Mindbreak Trap. Or, yeah, no, I guess that's the only thing they could have. Brainstorm. I have no idea how to cycle, sideboard against this deck. Mindbreak Trap? No. Mindbreak Trap would be a card they might have, right? Because that's even current mana cost, and they don't have access to Force of Will. Alright, let's just say, so I believe I was told that this doesn't, like that Rest in Peace and Leyline doesn't stop this. Through graveyard. How annoying is this? So you put the top 4 cards of your library into your graveyard, but the graveyard is exiled, so they just get exiled. Put a creature card with even convert mana cost from among those cards into the. Yeah, I think I was told that that like Rest in Peace doesn't work, or is not, at least not supposed to work. I think we want the Pyroblasts, right? I have no clue whether or not we want any removal. Really interesting deck with the like even converted mana cost clause. You don't suspect they would have stuff like Hate Bears or artifacts that make spells cost more mana because they want to cast their LEDs. And they're once upon a times. Yeah, I think I just like this. These 2 cards. I don't, for the time being. I don't. It could be that they have some sort of secondary win plan that involves a creature. I'm not sure which one it would be, but so let's cut an Astrolabe. Fairly sure I'm not gonna get wastelanded, and I guess cut the Night's Whisper. No reason, no playing around Pyroblast or the likes. No Fluster Storms. So I think I really want Force of Will against this deck, right? There's another thing where this is kind of I was told that companions, that you need to reveal them before you roll the dice, but that's not how it works on Magic Online. And we're going to keep this because we have Force and some blue cards and some like mana. But because if you're up against what is essentially like a glass combo, glass cannon type combo deck, I think you really want the you would aggressively mull towards Force of Will, and I don't think this is ever not glass cannon-y. I don't think this is ever a fair deck, right? Okay, so let's see your Chromox. What do we got here? Restoration Angel, okay. Yikes. So I guess they can turn 1 their Garuda. Are they going to go for it? I guess they are. And do they just scoop now? I mean, it's essentially like going for Hellbent with Ad Nauseam Tendrils. Okay, let's. I want to be able to ponder with a fetch land up. So what does their deck do now? I guess they can like draw Chalice, but they don't. Ooh. Brainstorm. There's Doomsday. Let's bin a couple of lands. Kind of want another Force of Will for some reason. Okay. Nope, don't want none of those. Yeah, chant is fine, I guess. So if we draw a Dark Ritual, we can go off with a chant as protection. That's all. That is sort of dependent on them not dropping a chalice for one. But I guess chalice for one, and then we just Doomsday next turn and pass the turn and expect to be able to win somehow. We drew the Dark Ritual. Sick. Okay. So let's chant them. We go Dark Ritual, Doomsday, and so we Street Wraith into Brainstorm. We Brainstorm drawing LED, Thassa, and Edge of Autumn, and we can have a blank on the bottom, and then we put back Ponder and Thassa and Edge, sack, LED, draw Thassa. So we put the blank on the bottom, then yeah, then it doesn't matter, just Thassa, LED, Edge, just as long as Brainstorm is on top. Like this. We could do it the other way around and then Ponder, but it doesn't get us to 0 cards in the library, and it doesn't matter right now because of chant, obviously, but just as a way of looking to do the perfect pile on the perfect combo turn. All right, sweet. So that was Guy Root. Is that the right spelling? Yeah, Garuda combo. I guess that's sort of self-explanatory. Garuda, even though that also kind of makes sense. Okay, well, hard to say. I mean, they had the turn one. I was gonna say the turn one kill, but I mean the fail rate. I guess I'll have to see it go off before I really try to figure that out, because so you mill both you and your opponent, and then I guess the plan is for you to hit one of those clone creatures, and then what? Then you clone it, and then you clone it, and you keep cloning it, and eventually you will have an army of 6/6s, and then you pass the turn, I guess. Meanwhile, you're also just milling your opponent, so eventually they will... I mean, you will... If they have, like... Is there a world where you just keep milling and then you pass a turn, they can't draw from an empty library kind of thing? I guess. But, I mean, the fail rate must be, you know, non-trivial, right? Because it's only 4 cards that you get to mill. So if ever you mill 4 cards off the top of your library and you don't hit like one of the clones or Restoration Angel to blink it or whatever, the combo just stops. And I guess, but then again, I mean, it's only really if your first 4 cards whiff, right? Because as soon as you get as soon as you get 1 in, then if at the very worst you will have 2 6/6s when you pass the turn. So I can see it. All right. Okay, we are on a roll with these dice. Sorry, that's not how you pronounce it. We're on the play. We keep this, and we're not up against a companion. They mull to 6. and they keep 6. Okay. So we want a preordain here. The question is, do we fetch, which one of these two do we fetch Basic Island from? The implication being the one we choose, we can't fetch. So if we choose Delta, we won't be able to fetch Basic Swamp. If we choose Strand, we won't be able to fetch Basic Plains, and we have a card with white. Yeah. It's tricky, right? If we didn't have Teferi game 1, I would use the Strand here to be, because I would value fetching Basic Swamp over Basic Plains. So maybe that is actually just the thing to do here. Then we'll have to get a duel or find another fetchable Plains card to cast Teferi. I think we want one of these. Normally, you know, I'd take a second Brainstorm, but our hand is pretty cantrip laden. Ooh, is this a mirror? Or is this like Death's Shadow? It is Death's Shadow. Exciting. Thoughtseize. Oh, Reanimate. I guess that's fine. Now I kind of want to get to Doomsday, right? So here's where not having Tundra is a pain in the butt, right? Because if we had Tundra, we could fetch Tundra here and cast a second cantrip. As it is, if we want to cast this Teferi, Teferi, tapping out for Teferi is not really that nice of a thing. Plus, they likely have a second creature next turn. So maybe we're supposed to bin Teferi, actually. Go for second Preordain here and just really hope to get towards Doomsday. I don't like this at all, them having 5 cards in hand. I like both of these cards. They drop like double Shadow or Shadow Delver. So we're going to let this happen. If they have Shadow, I think they're going to put Teferi in the graveyard. Yep. So how big is that? That's 7/7. So that's 10. So if they could drop to 1 next turn, they win, right? 2 effectively, because we have the force. I want to find like Dark Ritual here. I don't. And let's fetch. So how's this going to work? So we play the swamp. We pass the turn. Then we can, if they don't kill us, we can then Doomsday and use Preordain to win if they have no way to interact with us. Is that the best thing we can do? I think we just have to. The other thing would be to cast Preordain now and hope to like find I don't know, a blue card and then Brainstorm or something. So they should have, if they have like double Street Wraith or something, it's kind of bad. Okay, they don't. That's also then kind of bad, I think, because it means they have something to fight with. Force or blue card? It's force. So let's see here. They have 3 cards. What'd they do? They put 1 on the bottom, 1 on the top. So we're going to go up to 4, and then Doomsday down to 1. Sorry, Doomsday down to 2. So we can actually force. They only... I guess, like, the worst that could be is that they have force blue card Daze or force blue card Pierce, I guess. We also can't really afford to force, come to think of it, because we need 1 card to put back with a brainstorm. So things are not looking too good for our hero. Yeah. So let's just walk ourselves through it. So we force back, Doomsday resolves. We cast Preordain. We have 1 mana left. We can only draw 1 card. And that, I think, is the eternal sort of, you're almost there, but you're not, you're like close, but so far away kind of thing. Because then we can never win, right? I think that's sort of it. Because we would need an additional mana and the Thassa. Let's just see if they have something in their last. That's their last card. Just for the heck of it. They don't. There's just nothing. Not a single thing to do. Yep. So if Predict had been, if Preordain had been Edge of Autumn, we actually still would lose because we could edge into Predict, and then the only other cycler would be Street Wraith. This is actually where what I talked about earlier, where having 2 edges would be superior. But it doesn't matter, it's all theoretical. So I'm just going to click some cards here because I have a paranoid suspicion that Magic Online will show you sometimes the card zone that your opponent has open if the game ends. So if I concede with my library open, it doesn't really matter because they can see our exile zone, but I'll concede real fast and hopefully they won't dwell on it. Okay. That's too bad. But expected. We couldn't really expect them to not have anything, right? So they probably have some number of Gurmag Anglers, but I don't think Rest in Peace is supposed to come in. But let's bring in all these. That's 13 cards. I don't feel confident about this plan, having lost game 1. It's not impossible. Like, it's not an impossibly bad spot to be in, but it's just that you're not brimming with confidence as the Doomsday player. So, Street Wraith, I guess. So, do we cut a chant? Yeah. So, I guess the reason for them not to play Luris is both Street Wraith and Gurmag Angler. And I can see Street Wraith being an actual cost, like losing that instant uncounterable +2 damage. Yeah, I guess we keep this. Kind of want to see an Astrolabe though. Last time I played against Death Shadow, they boarded in, or had in, boarded in or kept in Plague Engineer, which meant they sort of knew that Doomsday brings in mentors. Wonder if this opponent does the same. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Let's go like this. Not gonna play out the pedal. There's a chance they thought seizes turn 1, but I don't think playing out the pedal really changes that. Or, like, if they thought seizes, they still get to take Pyroblast if that's what they want to do. In all likelihood, if they thought seizes here, they will take Brainstorm or Plow. Yep, let's see what they do. So if I hadn't just pondered here, I think Brainstorm would be probably the better take, depending on how vulnerable your hand is to Plow and Pyroblast. But, yeah, okay. That's what they do. So let's play around days here when we cast this Ponder. Wow, they paused on our draw step or our upkeep. I hope they weren't. Like if they had randomly surgicaled, that would have been kind of bad because we kind of need this. Yeah, I think so. One thing I like to do here is go with Plow and then draw Preordain here. I don't think they would play like Cabal Therapy, but you never know. And yeah, this way I kind of want them to not know about like the second Plow, I guess is my point. And then we can preordain away the pedal if we want to next turn. This, like, these basics really craves an Arkham's Astrolabe, right? I was also playing once against a Death Shadow that was bug colors, and where my plows just were horrible because they had what's it called? They had the Sylvan Library, so I just kept giving them life, and they kept like just num, just drawing a bunch of cards. So I guess we preordain here. Don't think they would spell pierce this. Thoughtseize. I actually like Thoughtseize. It sort of informs us. Let's play out the pedal here because there's a world where we want a Pyroblast. Okay. Force of negation, pitching days. Interesting. So my thoughts are they have like a better, this is a bait creature for the Plow. I am going to Plow. So wait, they don't know what's the top of their library is, so I think it's... Actually, I should have plowed then, because now they get to see no matter what, right? And they get to fetch. Anyways, yeah, that's kind of poor. So it's about giving them the extra life and knowing what it is, potentially. Let's let them have the extra life. Okay. I guess let's plow now. Plow now, brown cow. Okay. secretly super stoked that they force negation that yeah, that Thoughtseize. Okay, interesting. Do we go for the mentor here? So we mentor, they force, we pyroblast, they daze, we're sad, but then at least we're both hellbent and we have, or they're hellbent and we have a plow. I think we mentor. They concede. Interesting. Okay. I don't think we change anything here. Like, yeah, now they know about the mentor, but I don't think the side their sideboard strategy has to somewhat overlap, right? And I don't want to be purely on Doomsday, so let's go. I don't want to be purely on Doomsday. I could, and the thing is, like, if we go like half, like I think we need all of these, right? All this, or at least it gives us a very good shot. And if we do this, but then also have a cards in our deck that kind of want to go Doomsday out of the blue kind of thing, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. That's the sound of my chair creaking, by the way. In case I'm not sure the microphone is picking that up. Yeah, I think this is a very acceptable hand. Maybe one land too heavy, but 3 very good spells. So now I'm guessing there will be Plague Engineers in their deck, which is a somewhat hard card for Mentor, but luckily 1 doesn't kill the Mentor, and we have 6 spot removals for that. Alright. And they mull to 6. Okay. Good start for us here. Game 3. So what if you're them and you Thoughtseize on turn 1 and see this hand, what do you take? Guess it all depends on your own hand. Yeah, Thoughtseize, always with the Thoughtseize. You know what would be sick if they go like take plow, surgical it? Okay, they don't. Let's just pass. Him to Torak would be kind of annoying, right? Yikes, okay. Reanimate. If they do that, we'll just let it happen. They're down to 3 cards. Well, I guess 4 once this ponder is done resolving, but okay, they don't shuffle and pass, so that's interesting, right? I guess maybe they have a Delver now and they want it to flip, but they know we have plow, so what does that mean? Okay, let's oh no, that was a mistake. I should have played out the Delta, because see, there is very little chance that I am going to plow something with like tapping out into days, it's much more likely that Brainstorm shows me a preordain or a ponder. So that was kind of a mistake, but I'm gonna brainstorm anyways. Fairy is good. Let's put back C. I think we value the lands over the pedal here. A card that keeps tempting me, but not quite enough to play is Days. I know some very successful Doomsday pilots have played and are playing Days from time to time, but the card just seems too swingy for me and too sort of driven towards the like fast combo. So if they Thoughtseize, I guess they don't Thoughtseize, they are casting Gurmag Angler, I think. They're You can always tell when like someone is tapping a land and then nothing is happening on screen. It means they're like clicking on the graveyard. Yeah, and that's fine. Now I actually think I want the pedal, but did I put it on top? Or did I put Underground Sea on top? Winter Orb. Sure. Tell you what, my friend, I don't mind. Let's draw here and hope it's the pedal. Yep. Okay. So that gets basic plains. That gets basic swamp. Or I guess it could get basic island, but let's get the swamp. Play this and Teferi. And if they force, we force back. And we bounce that. And draw a pretty useless force of will, but I'm liking this. I like where we're at. We can even play a mentor if we draw one off the top. Yeah, let's untap that. I guess that was wrong. We should untip the plains, seeing as we had this delta in hand. I guess the Winter Orb is not nothing, right? Another plow. Yeah, this feels like a good spot right now, right? Thoughtseize is probably the card I would be most concerned or annoyed by. He says GG's. Concedes. Sweet. Well, that was very nice. Death Shadow. Alright. Alright. I do think that Death Shadow is probably the current Delver variant I am the least afraid of, but I'm still afraid of it. Like, I still think it is a tough matchup. But they don't have lightning bolts, which is a big deal. And our sideboarded plan just, like, I honestly feel like it's just stronger against them than it is against the variants with red. Just because like you don't have to worry about pyroblasts and their bolts like mean that Mentor is worse off kind of thing. I also think like objectively speaking, I would much rather be fighting against Gurmagangler than Death. What's it called? Dreadhorde Arcanist. I just said objectively speaking. That's obviously nonsense. It's very much subjectively speaking. But I think that I think Dreadhorde is just amazing, and I just don't feel like the meta or the format right now is ripe for a big like block of clay on the ground like the Angler is. Would be nice to round off this league. It's getting late here. It's like 10 to 11 p.m. I kind of want to get this done because I kind of want to keep putting out a video each Friday. I have to say this week has been a bit, or like the week, the maybe 10 days leading up to now has been a bit tough magic-wise because I went into a real depression state, so relatively speaking, about the companions, and for a while I was like, is Doomsday even like a deck right now? Is this just complete nonsense to be playing Doomsday and not have a companion and not be playing like a companion deck? Okay, so it's the Zerda deck. The Absurda deck. So a question we have to ask ourselves, they won the dice roll, and this deck, in case you haven't seen it, it's like a artifact go infinite combo deck, and they are keeping their 7. So we are not winning until turn 4. By turn 4, they will either have flat out killed us, or we'll have like lethal attackers in like artifact constructs or walking ballistas, or they will have Karned us. So I think I have to mulligan this and like look for something other than this. Yikes. All right, we'll keep this and we'll bottom 2 lands. And hope we don't get like turn 1, and hope that Ponder can find like Force of Will or whatever. I guess Force of Will wouldn't have done it, or won't do it. I guess, we can kill the combo piece. There's not like Grim Monolith or... didn't I just see you? Annoying. So I don't think they have Wasteland, and we might need the black mana, so let's go digging. So Dark Ritual and a Petal, and we would probably win, right? Force of Will and Teferi. Force of Will is good, right? We can protect ourselves. Teferi, I don't want the LED, I don't think. So let's draw Force, and then we will spend the next... No, we won't spend anything. We will draw the Teferi. I was thinking I could play a fetch land, but yeah. So they will be able to get their Fox into play, which is unfortunate. Although right now their Mox Opal isn't making any mana, but I'm sure they will be able to do something about that next turn. Well, maybe not actually. Hang on. They would have maybe played an artifact land. Yeah, that's not an artifact land. Okay, so Grim Monolith is what we have to counter, right? Or we can let this resolve. No, we can't play Teferi next turn. Never mind. The problem is they have 8 of these, right? They have 4 Grim Monolith and 4 Basalt Monolith, but we can't counter this. So, and if we let this get into play, then they will have infinite mana on the next turn. Excuse me. And then they might only have like 1 bomb in hand. I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't played it enough against this deck. I don't know if it's more correct to force the mana engine or the actual payoff card. But I think I'm going to force this. Forcing when you're multi-5 doesn't feel great. Okay, draws fairy. Pass the turn. Fetch away. I guess, no. I was going to say we could have played out the Thassa and then plan to bounce it with Teferi once we Doomsday, but I don't like that. It seems like adding an extra turn. Whoa, they're just passing? Nice. I guess we get Scrubland here. I guess do we Teferi? I mean, if we Teferi, we can maybe win on the same turn we Doomsday next turn, because then we would Doomsday and then we would need to draw like at least a 1 mana cantrip, and like a brainstorm, or actually we would need to draw a brainstorm or a cycler. So that's like 6 cards. That's yeah. Maybe we just Doomsday now. I'd give them the extra turn, because I don't think Teferi really impacts them, right? Decisions. I think we just go for the Doomsday. Truth be told. Oops. Okay. And so let's go for draw. I guess we exiled predict. So we can draw Street Wraith. Street Wraith into Edge. Edge into Night's Whisper. Night's Whisper drawing Thassa. Where are you, Thassa? Thassa's in my hand. I guess I don't need Thassa then. So what, we Night's Whisper into Force and Cavern. Is that it? Is that the play? So let's see, we draw Street Wraith. We're at 8 life, we draw Street Wraith. Street Wraith down to 6, draw Edge. Edge into Night's Whisper. Cast Night's Whisper off Scrubland, Underground Sea, draw Force and Cavern, and we would be at 4 life. So I think, yeah. So I think there's still things that can go wrong here on their turn, but I kind of like this. Let's go like this. This feels like a very anemic start for them. If they aren't, like, if they lose this like this, then the other couple of times I played against it, they had like Karn out by now. This is all Monolith. Sure. Can't really stop that. Okay, I guess we just win. That's awesome. Let's tap for black. Sack. Draw 2. Name wizard. Sweet. Okay. I'm not sure what we want against them. They have like Aureox Salvagers, I think, so maybe Rest in Peace can do something, but probably not. It probably doesn't do enough, right? I think Mentor can do some work in that kind of matchup. And I think a couple of Plows is not sort of the worst. Probably we can board out the Chance. Probably at least one to Fairy. And they're not on Chalice, but they are on Karn the Great Scoundrel, so maybe something like this. I really don't know. Maybe we want more Plowshares. Maybe we want a third. Nah, let's try this. Do we keep this? I think we keep this even though it's very awkward right now. We can't cast Plow. But we are a Doomsday away from just winning. Let's hope we don't get Karned or killed on the first turn. I think people, including myself, need to take their win rates with a grain of salt at this point in time. They rolled 5. Yeah. All right. Yeah, no, I was just saying, like, people are trying out all sorts of different things here, so while they don't really know what, like, no one knows what the best thing to be doing is, right? Okay, Grim Monolith. If their last card in hand is a land or a mana producer, they can play their combo Fox and have infinite mana, but then not have any payoff card. Yeah, I guess let's plow out or do this. Nice. That is probably the most disruptive thing for us because it shuts off our LED in our pedals. But having said that, I don't think it's terrible. Right. Okay. So they're just a sitting duck right now. Doomsday? No. Okay. Astrolabe is nice though. Doomsday? No. Okay. So let's just pass. If they just run out the Fox this turn, I would feel amazing. If it, like they draw land or this. Yeah. Okay. They don't. So it's probably wise of them. A little Knight's Whisper action. Yeah. Why not? Our life total isn't under any pressure. Okay. Let us pass. Okay. Sure. Doomsday. Nope. Let's try a Ponderino. Does this matter? Actually, you know what? I kind of like to Fairy here No, no. What I was saying, I like Teferi because it could bounce like a problematic artifact, but I don't think they have any. The only ones they have are like Ballista, which just kills Teferi. So maybe we just shuffle here. Actually, we gotta find that Doomsday. There it is, my sweetness. And we get to win. We can brainstorm into edge, predict, LED, then have pedal and Thassa. Pedal doesn't need to be pedal because we have mana, but it doesn't matter. So pedal, Thassa, LED, predict, edge. Let's put back plow and predict. We have both cyclers, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, cool. We win. Let's queue up for the final match. So that was Zerda. I just like, even though the Zerda is in the name here, same as Gyruda, I just like having it in this column so that I can always have like a somewhat of an overview. So yeah, like right now, it's obviously sweet being 4-0, but so what did I face in the first round? That was the Maverick deck. Then the second round, I faced that Gyruda deck. Then I faced Death Shadow, and then I faced Zerda. And I mean, honestly, both Gyruda and Zerda, they are powerful at what they do, and it is broken to have the 8th card. But there is a possibility that a year from now, no one is playing them, and not because they were banned, because people found out that the decks just weren't up to par. So right now, I think like you are buying some number of wins in leagues at least from facing opponents that are just like really excited to try out all sorts of different things, and are brewing, and that can both be an advantage and a disadvantage for you if you're a brewer. All right. It would be ironic if my last opponent was Black Red Reanimator, seeing as how I, for the first time in a while, have completely abandoned surgical extraction and am relying completely on rest in peace for my anti-graveyard effects. Okay. Lost the die roll. Let's see what we see. No companion. They mulligan to 6. So a 5 lander. If you have brainstorm, it's defendable. But if we get Thoughtseize, it's incredibly like damning for us. But I think I'm going to keep. They mulligan to 6. So the chances of them having Thoughtseize feels like they just went down a bit. Come on, no Thoughtseize, no Thoughtseize, no Thoughtseize, no Thoughtseize. No Thoughtseize, yes. Delver, though, so probably Canadian. The old rug Delver. Doomsday here is very interesting indeed. Yeah, okay. Wow, okay. I feel like going for Doomsday now. Now that the Pierce is off. It's risky, of course. They could have Force of Will. I feel like doing it because I don't like where Pierce leaves them against this. I know that next turn they will likely be forced to like cantrip again, potentially leaving Pierce off. But of course, if they have force, here on the Doomsday, then I will brainstorm. I think try and find a force of my own. So, and then they might have days, which is bad. Oh, they have force, sucks. Maybe I should have. No, because if I had cantrip first, then they could have just dazed. Okay, so that is bad for us. But let's just lick our wounds here and see if we can piece together a win anyway. They just have nothing. I guess they have to pierce now. So let us ponder here and then astrolabe. And if they want to... Ooh, that is so good. The question is if we will have enough time. Actually, let us... I think we draw Thoughtseize. Then do we Thoughtseize into the Pierce? Maybe they're on like a second force. I mean, they are on something, right? How much mana do we need to be able to win with Astrolabe? So like next turn we can't, right? We would go Dark Ritual and Doomsday and then Astrolabe from 1 mana, then we would draw, I guess, Brainstorm. I don't know, I think we want and kind of need to get rid of that. To get rid of that Pierce. Yeah, we lose if there's a force and another blue card in their last. Yikes, okay. Bolt is also pretty bad for us, but they can't cast it right now. Yeah, let's take a Pierce. Oh, it might be dumb. That might have been the complete wrong pick here. Okay. Okay, so hang on. Let's say we Dark Ritual. No, we have to give them one more turn, and by giving them one more turn, sadly, we probably end up dying because they just need to draw like a land that produces red mana, and but when we can't Doomsday now, obviously we'll drop to 3 because we'd have to pass the turn. Come on, no land. No, okay, we die. Suck! Damn it! But that was unreasonable of us to expect that to work. I think they would have to draw land eventually. And I think we just concede. Would have changed if I had taken the bolt. They would have double pierce. So we go Dark Ritual. They pierce twice. We have to pay, and then we lose anyways. So let's concede. Okay, so this is Rug Delver. So this is where all 15 of our sideboard cards are going to come in. Uh, I like it though. Um, all right, let's lose the Doomsday, lose the Thassa, lose the Edge, lose the Street Wraith, lose the LED, lose the Dark Rituals, lose the Orm's Chance, and then what? Lose Teferi or Knight's Whisper, I guess. Probably Teferi, because he eats red blasts and bolts all day. Okay, so this is where we make our stand. Round 5, 4-0 against the end boss for me, which is Delver with red. I don't know what's worse, if it's blue-red or Grixis or Rug, or even now the new sort of Loris Jeskai. They all feel bad. And I guess the reason, yeah, I don't know. I was gonna say something that I guess doesn't make a lot of sense. Ooh, can we keep this? I think we can. But we really need to hit lands, right? Or is this just too bad? Like, the Terminus is already pretty bad, and the Teferi is not very good. I think we have to mulligan this. And we keep this. With a somewhat suspicious looking mana, situation. I guess we can dump the Cavern. Though Cavern with Mentor is pretty sweet. But I think we need the other the other lands. Maybe actually the Cavern should have been kept over the Volcanic, I'm not sure. And what they mulligan to. Okay. So Astrolabe off of Island from Flooded Strand. And let's hope we hit like another fetch land or a plow. Yeah, plow's good. Sure. So if we don't draw another, like a fetch land or another cantrip, brainstorming becomes a bit of a issue, right? Because then do we play into Daze and brainstorm before playing out our land, or do we play Volcanic and then I guess just not brainstorm? They don't shuffle. Okay. Land. I think we play out the Bulk here. It's kind of telepathing the Pyroblast. And we're vulnerable to a Wasteland. Goyf. Goyf is way less scary than Arcanist. I suppose it would still be worth it to plow here. And if they force, which I don't think they will, we Pyroblast, and then they could Daze, and then I think that's a fair exchange. Okay, so let's brainstorm, and hope not to get brainstorm locked. Which we do, and get punished for... Wow, that was annoying. Okay, so let us put back Petal and Astrolabe, I guess. Or maybe we were supposed to keep Petal and play it out. Now they can go like Oko, and we Pyroblast, and then they Daze. Yeah, whatever. I guess that's... I think we just pass here. I'm kind of mostly worried about them drawing Wasteland. That's fine. Let's pass, yeah, or sorry, take the turn and see what we want to do. Let us... Wait, I could have played the Astrolabe off of the other No, I can't. This doesn't make snow covered. Okay, I like path. Let's do like this. Do like this. And let's plow. And I think we pass, even though it means drawing the, what was it, the lotus petal? Or was it an underground sea? I forget. They preordain. Okay. So they are guaranteed to be sitting on either Bolt or Pyroblast, I think, or both. But I think our hand is pretty good. Sure. So do you like Pyroblast to preordain here? Let's bottom both. That is nice. Let's hang on to that one for the time being, not have it wastelanded. You have the Oko. True Name. True Name we can't really deal that well with. So if they have Force, we force back. Guess we have Terminus, right? But okay. They could well be sitting on another Force, in which case they're prized into using it. Okay, that was probably pretty lucky for us. Mentor. Do we play out the Mentor? I don't think we do. I think we do like this. And are now sad that we plow to Goifs. And will now also be very sad if they can play like Oko. It's funny that this plan leaves us vulnerable to like Oko and stuff. Okay, I'm not playing Mentor because I'm sure they have Bolt. If they play a creature, I will be happy, I think, to play Mentor and then Path in response to Bolt and be left with a token. It might not be enough, but I think their Wastelands are pretty good against us, having drawn this many non-basics. Speaking of non-basics, that's good. So they have 4 Delvers left in their deck. Okay, representing Force. Do we play this out? Not yet, right? I really worry about like haymakers from them now. Like another true name would be bad. Oko would be kind of bad. I guess I play this out. Move to discard? Surely not. I guess so. What was that? Tarmogoyf. Nice to know the rest in peace is doing some work. Oh, come on. How many plows and lands can we draw? Hopefully they're on like one true name. Hopefully they have like other cards we can punish, like Arcanist or something. So, is this worth like doing something with now? Maybe it is. They probably have 2 bolts. But if they use 2 bolts and we use a mentor and a predict and we still have the second mentor, I'm kind of okay with that. Guess they could have like force, just hard cast force here. I guess we just ship it, right? Make them do the first. Let's predict them here. I suppose what we could do now is we could plow the token we get. And if we plow that, then the mentor becomes a 4/4. Then they need to bolt it again, and we will have changed gone. We will have lost a plow, but I'm not sure how much more we're plowing. I think that's okay. Maybe they get confused and they daze our they daze our plow. That'd be pretty amazing. I'm absolutely certain that they will have another lightning bolt, but I think I'm still pretty okay with this. Yeah, sure. So we are left with a monk, and they have lost 2 bolts. We have lost a plow and a mentor, but we have duplicates of all of that. So that fizzles. All right, interesting. So the question is now if we make another mentor off of this cavern. Do they have the 3rd bolt? In which case, I don't want to exchange both of these. So maybe we just hold off on that. They could have like Brazen Borrower. I want to be able to play a spell after I cast the mentor. Yeah, that works. I guess we say human. Veil. Okay, that's good for them. But I think the most important thing is whether or not this mentor gets to live. And it looks like he does get to live. Okay, unless they have something like a sulfur elemental or something. I'm very much liking our spot now. I think even possibly a true name isn't going to be good enough now. Come on, any creature other than true name I can do something with. And Oko isn't going to be good. And I mean, Oko can elk him. And then we have a 3/3 and 2 1/1 prowess dudes. And we can kill Oko then. Grant, like assuming we were able to cast one spell next turn, or even then, not. Well, just the 5 power should be enough. Okay, so they're locked from their brainstorm. Okay, true name is the scariest of the cards, but if we can get some cantrips, or even like, yeah, Delver, fine. Yeah, right. I think I'm gonna path now. Or am I? How many spells have they cast? So they've cast Brainstorm, True Name, and now Delver. So Storm. So if they have Fluster, they will be able to fluster our path. So I think I'm supposed to wait. Brainstorm is nice. They won't be able to do stuff with that. Like Pyroblast is the word I'm looking for. Those are some good cards. I think we kind of want all of these. Let's go like this. Actually, let's start out by pathing this guy. Okay. So let's bottom the delta and draw the pedal, and we will keep the pedal for a massive overrun next turn. And we will just get in there for 8 damage now. Yeah, that should really be it unless something insane happens now. I say insane, but like if they have Sulfur Elemental, then that's amazing, right? Or if they have Engineered Explosives, I guess. Oko. Do we care about Oko? So let's say right now we have 5 monks. Let's say 4 of them get through and we cast 2 spells. So 4 times 3 is 12, so that should be fine, right? Yeah, that's fine. They can't steal Mentor. They can elk him. Yeah, that's fine. Sure. So on our turn, we're going to play the pedal, go to combat, and then we will pyroblast Oko before damage. That's going to be my plan. Okay. So if he blocks one monk, 4 of them become 3/3s, dealing 12. This guy deals 3. So yeah, we should have plenty. Well, sure. All right, cool. So unfortunately, they know very much what's up, and that will make it more difficult for next game. I think they will be, if they have an anti-mentor hate like Sulfur Elemental, they will be bringing that in. And if they had boarded out any true names or left any in the sideboard, they will come in again as well, I think. But yeah, that's the problem with Delver. I think is that this sideboard plan, it worked the treat here. It worked exactly as intended, and I still think it only brings us up to about 50-50. Even though this ended up feeling quite convincingly, like quite a convincing victory, there were a couple of moments where I think the game was in the balance. And if it's 50-50 after sideboard, and if you are like 30-70 to win game one, just throwing out some sort of numbers for to make a point, then it's not the best, right? But yeah, what can you do? All right. Sadly, this is a mulligan, and they keep. Yeah, let's keep this, and let us bin the cavern. Hope to find it later on. We need to find removal. We want them to not go turn 1 threat. They don't. Let's see if they want to pierce something like this. I really hope they don't, but I expect them not to, but it's a thing, right? Okay. I also think the Rest in Peace probably did a lot. They discarded, I guess it was just one Tarmogoyf. I guess they have a Tarmogoyf now. If it's a Goyf, I'll not do anything. If it's a Arcanist, I'm scared. Tarmogoyf, okay. Sure. So let's ponder. So let's leave Terminus at the bottom here. And let's just pass. Not sure I'm getting a Terminus through here, especially if we leave open the red mana to Pyroblast our force. I would imagine that they have Pyroblast and Force. They didn't see Terminus last game, so they have. I think they feel like they have to commit stuff to the board just to get like as much pressure on as possible. They do not shuffle. Okay. So there's a terminus on top. So I think I'm just going to pass here. Potentially we brainstorm into it. If they feel like this is just going to run them to victory, then I kind of hope they're wrong. Okay, so let's fetch here. Got a basic swamp and preordain. Pyroblast is not the worst. Neither is Prismatic Vista, truth be told. Yeah, let's draw both of these. And maybe we brainstorm on their turn and put back Terminus if they can be bothered leaving a creature there. I think I'm going to do that regardless. Was this Brazen Borrower? Okay, that makes me want to brainstorm now. So brainstorming is going to make Goyf a 3/4. So we will take 6, dropping to 9. I think 9 is still sort of acceptable. Any lower than that, I'm starting to get worried. So let's, speaking of that, not draw the Thoughtseize. Let's go like this. Pass. So we lose the counter war to Flusterstorm, but I think we win against most other things. They would need to have 3 counters. So we're gonna fetch a basic planes in response to this trigger here, so that we can use the Astrolabe to make red to Pyroblast. So let's try this out. What was pitched? Brainstorm, sure. So 1, 2, 3. Now, if they have Flusterstorm, they can fluster this. They veil. Oh, that's annoying. So I guess we force, but then they veil. Sorry, then they Pyroblast. And then we're kind of dead, right? But I think we have to play as if they can't do anything else, right? Because otherwise we're like on 2 life. Or we have to Astrolabe and basically hit like plow, and then we will still be very low on life. So the only question is there a difference in Pyroblast in forcing Veil in comparison to forcing Force? So if we force Veil, then they Pyroblast, and then I don't think it matters. I think we force the Veil. And I think this might be it for us, the Brave Hero. So what could their hand be, right? It's probably 1 Lightning Bolt. Oh, looks like we get this? Or do they... Yeah, no. Oh, that's tight. Okay, so let us play land in case they somehow have a spell pierce. Yeah, let's hold this off. Wow, that was intense. So we've dealt with 2 creatures out of all their creatures. So, and the Terminus is gone now. So now, like, if they're just going to be digging for True Name Nemesis, so I kind of really wish I can finish this game sort of swiftly. Mentor would be amazing. So, let's see here. They didn't shuffle with the Ponder, and they didn't play anything. So it stands to reason that they didn't like draw a Delver. They probably haven't drawn Goyf. Instead, it is quite likely that they drew either like Oko or True Name. Neither of which these 2 cards can answer really. Still, let's draw the Plow because I'm just too worried that shipping a Plow at this point will be like damning. But I do think that I'm right in my inclination and that they will just tap out for a fatty. Yeah, damn. So I think we lose. Right, has to be Mentor now. Not Knight's Whisper, jeez. I guess there's a world where we can like plow our own Mentor, but that's the only way we're getting out of this, and we're not. They haven't cast a single bolt in this game. They will have bolt, so I don't think we can Knight's Whisper here, or can we? Ooh, maybe we can. Feels kind of suicidal, but so this means we lose. Ah, this is where you throw up in your mouth, right? Maybe I should have played out of land. So I expect the bolt here. You can't see it, but I'm tilting my head expectantly. Yeah. GG's opponent. Those were some fun games. Alright, well, it is now 10 minutes to midnight where I am, so I'm going to bow out here. Thank you very much for watching if you stuck out to the end, and I hope it was fun. It was fun to play in. I'm happy to see that the deck is still sort of decent, even with all the companions running around. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.